In this lecture, we are going to solve the quadratic function. Now in this example, it is going to end up being a complex number. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that it equals 0. So to make that happen, I need to add 10 to both sides. So I get 3x squared minus 5x plus 10 equals 0. Now the next thing that you need to do is identify your a, your b, and your c. So here my a equals 3, my b equals -5, and my c equals 10. Now, because this is a quadratic function, I'm going to use the quadratic formula. Now, the best way to tell is that it starts with a squared, x squared, then goes to an x, then goes to nothing. That tells you to use the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is going to be x equals -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now you notice that we've already picked out my a, my b, and my c. All you need to do now is plug it in correctly into the function. So keep in mind, whenever you plug something in, you always want to use parentheses. So let's work on plugging it in. I have x equals -b. Now my b value is up here, and that says -5. Plus or minus b squared. So b squared, again, is -5 squared. Minus 4a, which is 3, and c, which is 10. Divided by 2a, and my a is 3. Now, all you need to do is go through and know how to simplify this. To simplify, go from left to right. So this first part here, it says -5. That is going to be x equals +5 plus or minus the square root. Now simplify everything in the square root. So 5 squared is going to be 25. And then minus 4ac is going to be -120. And I can take that and plug it into my calculator. So when I take 25 minus 120, I get -95. And that's going to be over 2 times 3, which is 6. Now, I would like you to pause this video, grab a calculator, and I want you to type in this information right here, which is the square root of -95. And if you actually did it, your calculator would say it's a non-real answer. And that's where the imaginary comes into place. So you have x equals 5 plus or minus. Now within that square root, something happens. You can look at that as -1 times 95 over 6. When I keep simplifying this, I want you to see that this part underneath the square root can continue being simplified as the square root of -1 times the square root of 95 over 6. And then you should have an aha moment and remember, what does the square root of -1 equal? Well, the square root of -1 equals I. And then that square root of 95 still stays there, as well as the 6. So this is the final answer. One more note here. The aha from this lecture is that the square root of -1 is going to equal I. That is something that you need to remember for complex numbers.